Good day, and welcome to Mental Health and You. I'm your host, Cynthia Timms. Kidney disease and mental health. Let me say that again. Let's talk about kidney disease and mental health. Who can relate? Who can empathize? Who knows somebody who loves somebody who's dealing with this? Whether it's you, whether it's a family member, a friend, particularly in communities of color, particularly in the Black community. We're going to talk about that, the mental health dealings with it, the mental health aftermath of it, how it's impacting you, not only physically, but emotionally. The strain is causing in so many levels. So let's get started. We have two guests today, one in the studio and one audio, who's going to talk about it. First, I want to introduce my guest in the studio, Miss Brenda Ricketts. Hello, Miss Brenda. You are a photographer and genealogist.
Yes.
Thank you for being a part of Mental Health and You today.
Thank you for having me, Cynthia.
And coming to us from St. Louis, Missouri, by audio is her son, Ray Ricketts. Ray, welcome to Mental Health and You.
Well, glad to be here, and thank you for having me today, Cynthia.
Well, you're very welcome. You know, when your mother approached me about this topic, I didn't really think much of it until I thought of it, how it has impacted my life as well. And I shared the story years ago, you know, how my father was on dialysis. You know, that was almost 40 years ago. And so this is not new. This is an ongoing issue in our community. But Brenda, I want to start with you. Why did you want to talk about this more? Why is this important that we know more about kidney disease, particularly as it impacts us?
Well, because in my family, we've had several generations of people who suffer from kidney disease and never got help.
Mm-hmm.
And so when my son was struck with the disease, I said we had to do something. And I started researching and found out that people in the Black community, although they suffer from kidney disease 4 times the number of people in the white community, they don't get transplants readily. They have to wait at least a year more than the counterpart in the white community. And sometimes I've spoken to a friend named John who had kidney disease and was on dialysis for more than 7 years. And that's ridiculous.
Yes.
You know.
You know, in my research for this show, a study from the National Kidney Foundation stated that Black Americans are not only 4 times more likely to develop kidney failure, but more than 1 in 3 kidney failure patients living in this country is Black. And I can sit here and say that it surprised me, but it doesn't really surprise me considering that, you know, we're, I dare say, coming out of a pandemic where health disparities were highlighted, you know, between the races, between
Yes.
Blacks and whites. And I asked this question, Ray, thank you again for being part. How has it impacted you?
Well, I used to travel before I had kidney disease. I'm not able to do so now because I'm stuck 3 times a week having to have dialysis.
Mm-hmm.
And also, as far as work, I can't work like I used to.
You were a nurse.
I'm a registered nurse. I can't work the floor anymore, you know, because it's very taxing, especially on those days of dialysis and even days afterwards. Very tiring and it's draining. And, you know, social life is just about nil. Because, you know, can't do too much because I don't have the energy to.
Yes. So we talk about that mental aspect of it. That plays into it because it changes your life so much.
Yes,
You know, you talked about you can't do the things you want to do. You can't travel. You can't work the way you want to work. Thus,
that's correct.
your income is impacted, and
That's
you
correct.
can't pay your bills the way you want to, because you can't work, and because of this kidney disease. So, I want to ask you, Ray, are you on
Hmm.
dialysis now? Are you on not at this moment, but do you go on a regular basis? What's that like? What is
Well,
that?
going to you mean kidney
Yes,
dialysis?
yes, yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's well. At first, it was very traumatic because you have to get a shunt put in your arm, and they're poking you with needles every other day and draining your blood so it can be clean. And it's just, and it's a 4 hour ordeal.
Yeah,
It's just like having a job, so that becomes your job.
yeah. And this is,
Okay, yeah, so you can stay alive, and it's very tiring, like I said, and you just have to do it unless you want to go ahead and pass away. This is what I have to do, So it's my main job on this planet right now is to keep myself alive,
that's
and
something. Yes.
it takes a strain mentally. I can't, like I said, I can't travel. I can't go too far out of my way to, I want to see my family. I want to do different things, and just can't do it.
Mm,
You know, you
when-
feel like a prisoner.
yes.
But
I
it
shared.
is what it is. It is what it is at this time until I can find someone that wants to give me a kidney, or they come up with a solution for this.
And what would that solution look like?
Well, it would be, me fine. Well, basically, I would need a kidney. I
Yeah.
mean, if someone doesn't want to give me a kidney, I would have to wait this, for someone to pass away, that's donating their organs to, not to science, but to the hospital so that someone else can live. And that's the solution. And I've been waiting 5.5 years,
Hmm.
and I'm tired.
Of course.
Yeah, you get very tired, and it's not just the tired from having the actual dialysis done; it's the tired of waiting. You know,
Yeah.
you do everything they want to do, and you have different hoops you jump through, and you get it done. I had my lab work comes back messed up, and they said, well, you need to do this. You got to take this vitamin. You got to take that vitamin. You can't eat this. You can't eat that. And this has been going on for 5 years, and I'm still waiting. I did everything that the doctors asked me to do, and I'm just still waiting. That's it.
Miss Brenda, it goes back to something you were sharing with me about the availability of kidneys for blacks.
Right.
You want to elaborate more on that?
Well, from what I'm told, they have to match the recipient and the donor, and they have to match at least in 4 different categories. And what happened with Ray a couple of months ago, they called him and said they had a kidney for him. So I purchased a ticket, packing my bags, and then a couple of hours later, he calls back and said there wasn't a match. And I'm saying, so why did they call him in the first place? And where did the kidney go? And Ray was upset. He went up and then he went down, and I was in tears.
Where did the kidney go, Ray?
He doesn't know.
You don't.
No, I don't know.
They don't give you an
elaborate,
explanation why
elaborate on
they
that.
got you
Somebody
something.
else got it, and that's
Right.
that. It was that they figured that they were a better match at the time, and I have to, go ahead and suck it up. It's,
I can only imagine how
it's
devastating
waiting
it.
for, and
I
for
can.
somebody to match you, because
But you had a
it's
match,
really,
but it
well,
wasn't
they
a match.
explained it to me, and I understood, that it wasn't a perfect match, and it matched the other person a little bit better, so they got the kidney.
Okay, okay. That goes into this stress.
Yes.
That goes into this. There's a site, Black Health Matters. I was talking to you about, Ms.
Yes.
Brenda. This they call themselves the leading health-related site for Black people as far as resources, blackhealthmatters.com. And they talked about the stress of it all, what it does to the family, what it does to the patient, the anxiety it causes. You get your hopes up,
Yes.
then it goes down. The depression, all of this. How have both of you, any one of you, how do you deal with that on a day in, day out basis?
Well, I'm super busy. I'm there for Ray, but I'm also involved in all kinds of other activities that keep me going.
Yes.
Right, including a year-old grandson. And I have Ray's son with me now, and they keep me going. Plus my political activities, my photography, my genealogy. I belong to the African American Historical and Genealogical Society, and that takes a lot of my time.
Now, to that point, Miss Brenda, you being a genealogist, hope that's the way you say it, what have you found, if any, in your research and your studies that may contribute to kidney disease in our community? Is there a pattern?
Well, I found that my great-grandfather's sister,
Great-grandfather's
sister, yes,
Okay.
in 1800s, she had kidney disease. And then my second cousin this is all on my grandmother's side. My grandmother died from cancer of the colon, and cancer of the liver, and kidney disease is all in every generation in my family. And my mother didn't have it, but her sisters had it. And my mother's first cousins have it, and my mother's sister's husband had kidney disease, so it's throughout our family. And I learned that through studying my family history.
Okay. I guess also I'm trying to get to, we as a people, we go through so much, We have a high rate of diabetes.
Yes.
We have a high rate of hypertension, which runs in my family. We deal with the stress of racism, We have these foods that's put in our community, our diet. So you have a confluence of all of these things, hereditary,
Yes.
And Ray, what you have to say about this, when you think about how, what, and why me? Do you ever have those moments where, why me? Yes, we know it can run in families. We know it runs with people, how people, but you have, those, when it goes to our mental health as well as our physical, you ever had those moments where it's like, why me? I mean, when you consider the totality.
And I understand that, it has a lot to do with, heredity issues, but, also
Lifestyle.
it has a lot to do with stress levels.
Yeah.
Especially with Black men here in America. It has a lot to do with it. Okay, and I took on a career that's traditionally made for, Caucasian women. I'm a nurse, you understand? And it's different, you understand? So the pressures are different, coming from not even your colleagues, but from the administrators, and what is expected of you by society. It's rough, and yeah, like she was saying, we do have diseases that run through our family, and hypertension is one of them, which I had, and kidney disease, which I have now, and it gets down. I get down sometimes, and I try not to, but I get down, and from getting down like that, I do a lot of reading, and like today, I was able to go. I had enough strength to go to the gym to ride the bike, the stationary bike, and I ride the bike and try to keep my mind off it while I'm listening to music, and
Ray, we talk about on this show about your supports and your mother.
uh-huh.
You're going to the gym. I've been reading, are there support groups for people with kidney disease, particularly in our community? I know sometimes
Yeah.
we don't like to talk about our stuff. We don't like to put our stuff in the street. And I think that plays a lot to our situation because we hold so much in.
Yeah, we do.
We hold so much
And,
in. I got
they
this
do
and
have
everything
some support
because
groups,
of the
even the
stigma.
social workers.
Okay.
They come around, weekly and ask, do you need anything? Would you like to talk to somebody? Usually it's no, because I never get that far down. I keep myself going, and I have my support group is my college friends. They call me. I usually get a call, once a day from some of the guys I went to college with, and they keep me up.
Yes.
Okay. Talk about, when you get better or whatever, we're going to get together, we're going to party like we used to. I got a call this morning from one of my buddies in California, checking on me, And I usually get a call or two from down there in Miami, Florida, one from Cleveland, Ohio, so we, it keeps me going.
Yes.
I just don't stay here and fester in my grief. Can't do it. You got to keep moving.
So tell me, Ray, if you wanted to come see your mother in New York, what would that look like? What would those plans look like?
What did you say? If I was going to see my mother?
If you want to come, say you want to come visit your mother in New
Yeah,
York for the holiday.
I would have to let the dialysis center where I'm at know that I want to travel, and they would contact the dialysis center there, which is actually not too far from my house. And they would contact them, but it takes a month in order for me to just, to get up and go. I just can't just jump up and leave. Like if I wanted to see her tomorrow, I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I would let the dialysis center know that, look, it's an emergency. I have to leave, but I wouldn't be scheduled anywhere to have dialysis. What would happen is I would have to go to the emergency room to have dialysis.
Wow. I understand.
Yep.
Ray, what is the move when you go to the treatment center, if you don't mind? What is the move and what's the age range of people in the treatment center?
Oh man, we had from 21 years old to about 80. It's it varies, with the individual, but it's not one. I can say one set of age ranges. I mean, I could say 40 to 50 year olds, but we have, it's a lot of different people, and black and Hispanic, and less Hispanic than black, because here in St. Louis, you don't have that many Hispanics like you have in New York, and I mean, you have older ladies, you have younger men. Some of these guys you see and like, what is he doing here? He's 25 years old. But it just shows you that kidney disease doesn't discriminate. It does not discriminate. And
before we, I could just hear that. I can hear the pain. I can hear the frustration in your voice. So be that as it may, I want to talk in our few minutes remaining about the stigma of it. Because going to the doctor, taking care of yourself the way you should, listening to the right people.
You said stigma. I don't think that there's any stigma attached to that, but it's because it's nothing that I've done, I don't think that caused this.
Okay.
It's one of those things, and it happened, and I just have to live with it.
I
And
guess.
everybody, people accept it. They have, people. I heard. I got a call from a lady I haven't seen in 6 years last week. Yeah, I heard. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And I'm like, it's okay. I'm doing. I'm living well as best as I can. It
Mhm.
should be better, or could be better, but it's not. But I just have to keep on living.
I guess I
You
mentioned the
know.
word stigma because when we talk about the mental health aspects, we do not talk about our feelings enough.
Right.
You know, the anxiety we're feeling, the sadness we're feeling. You know, the
Well, I'm past being anxious. I don't have any more anxiety
yeah,
with it.
uh-huh.
It's more frustration now.
Okay.
Okay, because it's been so long, and I thought I would have a kidney by now.
What would you
If I was
want
going to
people
get
to
one,
know?
and I could go ahead and move on. I'm to the point now that I don't think I'm going to get one. I'm gonna just have to live like I'm living until the Lord calls me home. I'm like, wow, this is a long time. As opposed to European places, such as Spain and Portugal, where the rollover time is 4 months as opposed to 6 years. Okay, it's 4 months. And why is that? Because everybody that dies of unnatural causes like car accidents, motorcycle accidents, helicopter crashes, they are eligible to have their organs donated so that somebody can live. And it's not like that here in the United States.
So be that as it may, I guess, Miss Brenda, when I talked about the stigma or whatever attached to organ donation, particularly in our community, I
Yes.
guess that's what I was trying to get to.
Okay.
In our few
Yeah.
minutes
Well,
left, what would you want
Black
our community to
African
know?
Americans
Yes.
and Hispanic people do not
Donate.
think about donating kidneys or whatever kind of organs that may be regenerated or they can live without to somebody that's in need. It's just not happening. And I don't know if it's education or they fear that they're going to get sick afterwards. And they need to ask my best friend who gave his ex-girlfriend a kidney. Okay, he's living fine. Okay, he's been doing the things that he was doing before. He has no problems. Mind you, he is a vegan. He doesn't eat any meat. But he was in the hospital one day and left 2 days later without a kidney, and he was fine. And been fine for the last 12 years.
Miss Brenda,
Yeah.
how do you, what would
We
you
just
tell?
don't do it. I mean,
Yes,
when I say
yes.
we, African American community, we don't do it.
How can we
and
educate our people more, Miss Brenda? What would it take? This,
Well, it would take shows like this
Thank
and
you.
for people like me to speak out more often. I do go to a National Action Network, and when they say what's on your mind, I often speak about kidney disease and donations. And it's just word of mouth, unless we get a public service vlog or something to say, start donating.
Yes. And also, yes, it's hereditary.
Yes.
But it's things that I always believe, yes, a lot of things is hereditary, but we can take our lifestyles. Our lifestyles can change for the better. I mean, as far as alcohol, smoking, the bad food choices a lot of us make. But a lot of times, that's what's in our communities.
Right. When I was thinking of one of my cousins that never smoked, never drank, and she had kidney disease. And it may be the food we eat,
All that processed food, all that
Or
sugar,
all
all
that,
that.
everything is pork, this, and collard greens, and I don't know, maybe the way we cook is not healthy.
So maybe we need to do a show on healthy
We
cooking.
could eat what we eat, but make it a little bit more healthy.
So yes, I mean anything can help. Whatever we can do, on our end. Yes, I mean yes, hereditary is hereditary, but that doesn't mean we just give in.
Right.
I guess that's what I'm trying to get to.
Exactly.
We just don't give in. We just don't say, well, my grandfather had it, my father had it, I'm just doomed to have it. Because I don't believe that. I do believe that we are great people. We come from a great people. We've been here a long time.
I know.
And we're going to keep being here.
Right. I've chased my family back to
Yes.
the people that owned us.
We got to talk more about geology. In the couple minutes that we have, what would you like our people to know, Miss Brenda? If you can make a plea, about the importance of taking care and kidney awareness?
I would say that I know you know somebody that has kidney disease, and do what you would do to help them.
Yes.
Either donate, make monetary contributions to the Kidney Foundation, and find out about kidney disease, because it's not silent in our community. Everybody I know has somebody on dialysis. My best friend in Pennsylvania, her brother was on dialysis. And Azim, my partner, his best friend, is on dialysis in Harlem.
Yeah.
So it's everywhere.
Yes.
So we need to speak out about it.
It's right. We was talking. It seemed like in our community, it's almost like the liquor stores or the funeral homes. There's a kidney dialysis machine somewhere.
Yes.
And there's a kidney dialysis center somewhere in our neighborhood? And why is that? And that's unacceptable, y'all. We can do better. But for education, we can do better. And that's what we hope to do in this show. In the last few minutes, Ray, I want to thank you for being on. What's your hopes for the future?
I want to thank you for having me. I appreciate it. We can get the message out there, and hopefully, it would spark somebody to find it in the kindness in their heart to go ahead and donate a kidney to.
Okay. We have sites like Black Health Matters. We encourage our listeners to go to. There's organizations like the National Kidney Foundation. So there's places where we all can get educated, because we cannot give up hope. As we start to wrap up, I want to thank my guest, Brenda Ricketts, for being a part of this great and wonderful and ever-evolving experience of mental health in you in all its dimensions. I want to thank Ray Ricketts, all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, nurse, for also being a part of this great experience. Thank you so much, Ray. And
thank you. I appreciate it.
When you come to New York, we're going to have to hook up, Why
not?
It's going to have to hook up, as you did say, you are a Yankee fan, okay? So,
yes. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But to you, the viewers, thank you so much for being part of this great experience. Thank you, beloved. Take care of yourself in all ways.
You too.
In all ways.
Bye-bye.
Be well. For Mental Health and You, I'm Cynthia Timms. Take care. God bless. Thank you for the pleasure.